In the background of this video, it's actually music from this video, just so you know. I would listen to this oftentimes from this guy's YouTube channel. It helps me get more lucid dreams because this video is about lucid dreams. So if you want to have that, such as myself, listen to this before you go to bed, you pass out, and you'll have a nice lucid dream. So, all right, enjoy. So I want to share my story of 2 dreams I had last night. And look, since January, no, I would say last year, November, I've been having lucid dream after another, like just non-stop lucid dreams every single fucking night. Actually, it started ever since I was acknowledging, like, fuck, my life is actually getting good now, you know, like, finally, for the first time in a long time. And I've been having so many lucid dreams. Sometimes they're just chaotic and it makes no sense. Sometimes they'll be interesting, but these 2 dreams I had last night, this is very interesting, and I want to share this in a video. So, alright, a little bit about my backstory. When I was 10 years old, right, well, let me go back a little further. I was born and raised in the United States, in South Carolina. The first 5 years in California, and then another 5 years in South Carolina, and that's where my grandparents live from my mom's side. And there's also my uncle, and there's my aunt in Ohio, and I had a connection with her, and I had cousins. Long story short, when I was 10 years old, my mom divorced my dad, there was drama, and my mom ended up marrying a guy from Holland. And me, my siblings, and her, we had no choice, moved to the Netherlands, and I never seen any of my family ever since. I never seen my grandparents again. I'd never seen my aunt, my uncle, my cousins, my father, so on and so forth. So I want to share that right now, really quick, to the point. So anyway, the first dream I had last night, I was in this big superstore. Like, it looked kind of like the same, including the chaotic mess of the superstore in the movie Idiocracy with Luke Wilson as the main character. If you don't know what that is, just check it up yourself. There was a superstore, it was that fucking huge, and I remember it looked kind of like that. And there was a lot of boxes all over the place, just slinging around all over the floor, and there was a lot of people. And in this dream, I knew it was a lucid dream, but I didn't know who I was in the waking life. Like, I didn't know who I was, but I knew this was a lucid dream. And that I was a kid. I was a 9-year-old or 10-year-old kid, and I was running around the supermarket looking for my dad and my grandparents, and my aunt and my uncle and my cousin. I was looking for them everywhere, and it got to a point where there was like sudden realization walking around. And also the supermarket was like just messy and cold, and it was like a very empty vibe. It just made me felt like I felt homesick, and I wanted to find them. And then there was a realization that, oh, I am never going to see them again. I am never going to see them again. And the pain from within my heart or my body, I felt the pain. Like, I was crying my ass off and screaming in pain. The pain, I've never felt something like this before. It was such emotional turmoil. And it was also a relief to know that it was a lucid dream, and that there is no way people can hear this or see this in my waking life, you know, just in case they're like, wake me up from this and disturb my moment, because I want to let this out. Like, I felt, but it was so hurtful. It wasn't like it felt good. It was like, finally I could let this pain out, and I was getting flashbacks of the times I've spent with my grandparents and my dad and my aunt and my uncle, my cousins. Like, it all came back to me. Like, I had memories of South Carolina and my family, but I didn't know who I was. Like, that was weird, you know, like I didn't know who I was, but it was so lucid, it was so real to me, and the tears were like all over my face, man. I was crying like Niagara Falls, and the pain just kept on going. And I was screaming out of pain. I didn't care. I wasn't doing it like trying to get comfort from people around me in the supermarket. Like, I didn't give a fuck. I just want people to leave me alone and let me feel this pain. And it was like a relief, but it was so painful. I kept on crying, and how I really missed them, and I knew, like, I am never going to get that life again. I am never going to get the feeling of feeling at home, because I was having flashbacks and the feeling of, man, I want my home back. I want to go home, and I'm never going to have that experience again. It's over. It's finished. And it was just wow, man, I never thought I would have a dream like that. And when I woke up, I realized, and there was, by the way, face completely dry, no tears when I woke up. But in the dream, it felt so real. Like I was drenched in tears, man. When I woke up, I realized that could be like some kind of like my inner child or some shit. Like, but it kind of makes sense psychologically, because when I moved to Holland, I had to like, go with it. I was not allowed to talk about my family. I was never allowed to talk about my pain or anything, or that I missed them for my mom, because she would beat the shit out of me. She would beat us with a metal spoon, like a kitchen, what do you call those things where you dip your soup in? We wanted, whatever, a soup label, right? She would beat the shit out of me. Even if I roll my eyes up or say, oh, I miss my dad. Even if I refer my Mr. Al, I had to call Mr. Al as my real dad. If I call him my dad, oh, she would beat the shit out of me. She was very physically abusive and verbally abusive too. Like, but that's another story. I don't want to go into specifics about that. It's pretty dark. My mom was an extremely abusive woman, very unhinged and unstable. And to this day, she still thinks she did a great job and that she was a great mother and she did nothing wrong. Like, fuck you, bitch. But I have no contact with her anymore because I can't, because I'm so angry at her now. But growing up, I didn't know that. I had suppressed that. I was just trying to be a mommy's boy. I was just trying to listen to my mommy, go with it, suppress it, never talk about it, act like I was okay being in Holland with a completely new family from my stepdad's family, with no contact with my dad's side at all. The family that I grew up with was born from. I was replaced with a step family, and yeah, whatever. Anyway, I digress. I don't want to go into deep about that. So this leads to my second dream. Now here's what's interesting. Since last year, I've been having all these lucid dreams, and sometimes it'll come to a point where I would try to fly away from situations and fight off some of these beings in my dream that I want to fight off. Sometimes I'll have lucid dreams where I'm fighting off some kind of beings or entities or some shit, like whatever. Sometimes they're scary, sometimes not so scary. Sometimes I'm trying to like prove like, haha, I'm more powerful than you, but it never works. Like, it got to a point though, through the months, I was able to fly, so that comes easily now, the flying part, but not like only flying up, not like flying as in like going to a certain direction, like Superman style. Like I can fly up away from a situation, but when it comes to like trying to use my powers, like electricity or beams, it always fails, and the person and the enemy just laughs at me, and I lose, and I start sinking down from flying. But it got better through the weeks, because I'm acknowledging, oh, it's a lucid dream. I can't explain. It's like there is a way of understanding how to fly without forcing. What I know is you can't force that shit or want it to happen or do it because you want to prove you're better than the opponent. You do it because you just do it. You just do it naturally without ego, right? I noticed that in my dreams, and that came successful. Now, after the first dream, I think that's what made me even more powerful in my second dream when I was using my powers. There was a scary situation, and I was able to control objects easily, like a bunch of cups, and stack them together. That's another thing I was developing as well through the lucid dreams. Like I was constantly trying to do that shit. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but I can move objects by will with my mind. Like this was a lucid dream. I can move objects, and when there was an enemy, finally for the first time, I shoot beams out of my hands, and poof, they were trying to come at me. I was vaporizing them with my beams out of my hands one by one. I'm like, oh my god, I totally am getting the hang of this. And then whenever there were a bunch of cops going after a crime that was happening, and I would say, okay guys, I'll catch up with you guys, and I started flying like I was flying with ease. Oh, there's a taller building in front of me, fly higher, and I was flying like Superman style for the first time. However, I then acknowledge, oh my god, I have no control in regards to, I can't explain. There's a different type of flying. It's one thing flying up and like kind of like floating above air at a certain direction, but whenever you want to speed up, oh man, that's a challenge, because then it got so fast where, whoa, I was just spiraling. And I woke up and realized, okay, that's my next chapter. I have to work on that now. So I'm able to vaporize and destroy my enemies or anyone that comes at me in my dreams, in my nightmares. I'm able to fly away. I'm able to control objects by will and do exactly how I want them to do. I can even like pull up an object to block from against bullets and shit. That was really cool. But now when it comes to flying fast at a certain location, even faster than the cars, that's something I need to work on. I know it sounds fucking crazy, but I seriously been having all these lucid dreams. I was trying to look up information as to why that could be the case. It could be because psychologically I'm finally feeling like my life is now stress-free, and so I'm able to like heal and work through my, lately I've been slowly understanding my emotions. I'm able to not experience writer's block at all. Like, I understand how to turn on my creative hat and then turn it back off. I know how to control my urges in regards to certain vices such as alcohol, and I even quit smoking by will around March. Like, I just stopped, and I'm able to just create by will without sitting there like, oh, I don't know what to create. Writer's block doesn't exist for me anymore. Like, I'm able to understand my thoughts, I understand my feelings slowly, not fully. I still have a long way to go, and I think in that second dream, me using I feel like I'm able to flow and do a good job in my dream and handling situations whenever I'm not trying to boast or try and prove something or try and prove my worth or be when it just happens it just happens, and I just do it because I do it. But with the moment whenever I start to slightly think like, oh, I want to race, like that's what happened. I realized I was trying to race the cops, like I want to be there before them. That's when things went wrong. It's like, no, I think that's my lesson there. So it means like I should, whatever. This is a lot to learn. So I think there's some kind of psychological process. So the first dream, wow, I never felt such like the how do you say that word in English? Like you've the need to cry of something, mourn. You actually mourn like a death of a loved one. I was able to numb it by will because my mom taught me that. She taught me that when we moved to Netherlands. I had to numb all that shit. Got to a point where I was so good at numbing my feelings. My step grandmother, who had a close connection to, she passed away in 2016 or 15. Didn't bother me. Not because I didn't care, but because I'm able to numb out those feelings. I'm able to numb out grief, even though despite I had a connection with my step grandmother. You know what I did that day? While my siblings were crying and upset about it, I was thinking, I want to make a new YouTube video. And I went out into the forest and make a new YouTube video like it didn't matter to me. Now looking back, that's because I have the ability to numb it out, and that's because of my mom. She taught me that, and that's so not healthy. That's not a cool thing to have. Eventually, years later, I actually felt like it hit me. That's another thing. Like, you think like, oh, Greg is a psychopath or something. No. Years later, I think I was like 33, and in my first psychiatric hospital experience in 2020, I then started feeling those feelings. The feeling of pain and how I'm gonna miss her. It's always like, wow. It's like, and that's not a cool gift. If you think like, oh, numbing your emotions and feelings and empathy is a gift because it means your weakness, it's gonna bite you in the ass. It's gonna bite you in the fucking ass. You're gonna have some twitches and you may slip into psychosis or some shit. I don't know, something psychologically is gonna fucking mess you up. Unless you're born a psychopath, I guess is another explanation. That's another topic. But I'm not a psychopath, so I don't know what it's like to be a psychopath anyway. But in that first dream I had, it was like, wow. It was all the built up pain within that. Like, it was so much pain. And I think it helped me heal in that dream. And I'm writing it all down. Like I have a diary to just write down what I dream about to help me understand what's probably going on with me on a psychological level and emotional level. So anyway, comment down below what you think of this video and what do you think may be that the dreams meant for me. I mean, share your opinion, So, all right, guys, thanks for listening. Bye.